Has anyone surpassed Caleb Williams? Do you think Drake May has earned that spot to maybe go past him?
I think the character issues might come into play for a little bit. I don't think that anybody surpassed him yet, but I mean him hitting Max Duggins last year with the LOL when he's crying after losing, then he's over here fucking bawling his eyes out with his mom on the side. Like, bad look for you. And painting his fucking nails like fuck Utah or fuck whatever team he's playing.
Wait, did he really call out Duggan last year?
Yeah, he deleted it eventually, but there's a video of Max Duggins like after the loss to Georgia when he's crying. He retweeted it saying LOL.
All About the Balls podcast with Mark Davis, Chris Meinhardt, Luke Rule, and Nick the Doc Skirkowitz. Welcome to All About the Balls podcast. I'm Mark Davis in the Sack House, joined once again by my two great friends, Chris Meinhardt and Luke Rule, and we're finally going to talk some college football. We missed last week. A little disappointed because it was the first college rankings for the playoff, but not much has changed. Chris, the only thing that did change, unfortunately, the LSU Tigers have been eliminated from the college football playoffs and potentially the SEC championship game. How are you feeling going forward this college football season?
Yeah, it was a tough loss against Alabama. Jaden Daniels got pretty beat up. Not going to go into that one, though. But, hey, BK looks like he's doing good right now, so defense needs a lot of work. We had 3 true freshmen out there playing corner. They held their own, so the future's bright with them.
Future is bright. We'll see what the quarterback situation will be next year when Jaden Daniels is not there. So we'll see what BK can do with the backup who came in. Unfortunately, like I said, was put in a tough situation in Tuscaloosa. Luke, though, how are you feeling as UCF finally got their first Big 12, Power 5 win? It came at the expense of a new team joining, another AAC team, former team, Cincinnati. But you're 4-5. You have a chance to get to a bowl game. You need to win 2 of your last 3. How are you feeling?
Yeah, feeling good. I mean, it's always nice that UCF got Cincinnati's number. I mean, it does count either way. Cincinnati's Big 12 team, so Power 5 win. Like it. And this week is Space Week. So Space Unis are coming out for us, our game against OSU.
Well, which OSU? Oklahoma State, right? Let the fans know. Not the real OSU that we know, but it's a couple of OSUs out there. You got Oregon State, Ohio State. But Luke, predict it now. Are you guys winning in Space Week in Orlando?
Oklahoma wears OSU on their helmet, so it might be the real one.
Are you guys winning this week in Orlando?
Yeah, I put OSU on upset alert. Space Week, we're undefeated in space uniforms, so let's ride.
How many times have you won it? Once, twice?
I'm throwing $100 on UCF money line, so let's go.
Man, how many times have you won that space uniform, though? How many times have they cracked it?
How many times have they cracked it?
Like, how many times have they worn space uniforms?
Like 6 times, I think.
Oh, okay, that's pretty good. I thought it was like 1 or 2, so that's a good handful.
No, they've been doing it since I was in college. So I think 2017 or 2018 was the first year.
All right, well, yeah, good luck this week.
In Space Unis.
Good luck this week. That would definitely hurt Oklahoma State's chance to get to the Big 12 championship. And speaking of that, Texas, I think Steve Sarkisian heard what I had to say. He's a little nervous with Malik Murphy, and obviously you can't play Arch Manning this late in the year just because he's a true freshman. Quinn Ewers is back after 2 weeks missing time with his AC joint sprain. So we have a decent – out of all the remaining teams, we have probably the easiest strength of schedule left for the Power 5 teams that are definitely in the running for the college football playoffs. So got to take advantage of it. Hopefully beat Oklahoma State, whoever's in the Big 12 championship. But 1 week at a time, boys. 1 week at a time. So I'm just glad Quinn Ewers is back. That's all I've.
Is he actually back, or are they rushing him back?
Well, he's back. Technically, that's all that matters. Just like beating Cincinnati, it's technically back.
He's going out there with a fucking limp shoulder.
He's back. That's all that matters. He's back.
I can't wait to hear excuses. He's hurt. He's hurt.
Well, no, if he comes out and he's not playing good, yes, definitely he's rushed. It's because he's throwing shoulders. So if he's not playing good and he can't deliver the ball, then yeah, he's rushed. But hey, I'll say we probably lost because of an injury. But hey, he's out there. He's out there. There's no excuses. You gotta play good ball. I mean, your season's on the line. We were talking about it before the show. Season's on the line. You got to win out. All these teams that with 1 losses. But let's jump into it, boys. Top 25. Like I said, not much has changed. I'll run through the top 10 real quick. Ohio State, Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, University of Washington, Oregon, Texas, Alabama, and then the only teams that jumped up 1 spot were the University of Ole Miss and Penn State University. So, boys, I guess week 2 of the college football playoff rankings, do we have any problems with the top 10? Do we have any situations that we're looking out for? I know we have 2 big games. Ole Miss traveling to Georgia, 2 versus 9. We have Michigan versus Penn State, 3 versus 10. So open floor for like next probably like handful of minutes. Let's just start talking freely.
Yeah, tell your dog to speak up, Luke.
Yeah, tell that dog that he's not a fan of the rankings. No, I mean I'll jump in.
I'll
jump in. I'll jump in real quick. I mean, I think, like Greg McElroy from ESPN said, it's hard this year that I've been high on the committee since they started. They've been pretty consistent, but this year I don't have a problem with the top 5 because like you're undefeated. So like you can make a case for any of these 5 teams, but they used a resume for Ohio State, who beat 2 top 10 teams when they beat them. Then you're using 2 and 3 as a eye test essentially, and then 4 using eye test plus resume, and then 5 is because they're undefeated, so we're just going to throw them there. And then 6 through 9 or 7 or 6 through 8, you're using. I'm sorry, 6 through 9, really 6 through 8 because Ole Miss lost Alabama. You're using an eye test. So it's like, what the fuck is the committee doing? They seemed a little lost this past week on Tuesday, but the previous week they were pretty confident. So I just have an issue of how they're handling it. But I'm okay with Oregon being higher because I think they have looked better than Alabama and Texas throughout majority of the season, even though they play Colorado and California.
Yeah, no, Mark, I mean, I agree with you. I think the top 4 is good, locked in. Ohio number 1 just kind of confuses me where they're at. I get the strength of record. We had a little talk right before it started, and I mean, I think you could either put Washington, Alabama, anybody in that schedule, and they could easily beat Penn State, which was their hardest game. Notre Dame has shown that when they did play them at number 9, Notre Dame was not a number 9 team. So like I get the strength of. I mean, I don't get the strength of record. So I don't know how they're number 1.
It's a little confusing. Yeah, we were a little confused talking about that before the show. It's like I kind of don't get it, but they're there. So
yeah, I mean, I think if you put Alabama or Florida State in the same schedule as Ohio does, I think they would still be 9-0.
Yeah, I don't understand how Florida State's still sitting at 4, Michigan's at 3. Michigan hasn't played anybody. Yeah, Michigan beats the piss out of everybody. But yeah, they're playing fucking nobodies. Like Florida State's got a couple of ranked wins under their belt. So I don't understand their strength of record either. It doesn't make sense. Plus, Washington has better wins than Michigan too.
Well, I mean, just think that.
Yeah, like Michigan hasn't played. I don't think they played a ranked team yet.
Who, Michigan? No, they have not. Yeah. They have not beaten a ranked team. But so the thing was, my thing is that
Michigan beat the best one-loss team. I mean, Washington beat the best one-loss team.
I think resume should only matter essentially so I think eye test is the most important thing. I get it. Resume is important too, but I get Michigan's playing who they have on their schedule. If, for example, Florida State too, they looked really good. If they're beating the piss out of everybody, they look better. I don't care if they haven't played anyone at the moment because they're going to later on when they play Penn State this week and Ohio State rivalry week. But the resume should only matter. The resume should only matter if the eye test is very similar. Now, if it's very similar, like they're neck and neck, that's where resume and head-to-head should come into effect. And that's why I'm okay with Oregon being better than Texas and Alabama, because Oregon looks better. And that's why I'm okay with Texas being better than Alabama, because their resumes right now through week 10 of college football is very similar. Texas is number 10 in strength of schedule and 5 in resume, and Bama is 8 and 4. But the head-to-head was there. We beat them by 10 points. I'm okay with that. I'm not okay with Ohio State being number 1. I think Michigan and Georgia look better, and I honestly think Florida State looks better too.
Yeah, I mean, if we're doing eye tests, then I agree that Ohio should at least be number 4. I mean, besides for Western Kentucky and Purdue, they haven't blown anybody out. I mean, it was a 7-point game with Penn State, 3-point game with Notre Dame. I mean, they just don't look like they're a competitive team. Meanwhile, you have Michigan. I know Michigan hasn't played anybody. We said it. I mean, they're 111th in strength of schedule. They're number 1 with remaining strength of schedule. So we're about to really see what Michigan's made of in these upcoming games. I mean, that's gonna be the truth.
Hopefully, they got all the signs in early because they fired the dude. So hopefully, they got the signs in and they're memorizing them.
To be honest, Chris, the top 6 strength of schedule of 1 through 6 is not that good. I get it. They're undefeated and Oregon's 1 loss. But Texas, Alabama, and Ole Miss's strength of schedule looks way better than the teams that are undefeated and Oregon. I mean, so also you have to win. You have to be undefeated to be in the top 5. I'm not saying Texas and Alabama should be in the top 5, but we have both played harder schedules than we're 2 of the only 3 teams that have beaten 3 ranked schools. Texas and Alabama has, and then Arizona, who's in the 20s, has done it as well. So there's a lot of stuff to play out, but I just think some of the ordering needs to be mixed around the top 4. I'm okay with 6 through 10.
Texas still have 3 currently ranked teams that they beat in the top 25.
But they don't.
I think
they
Bama
do it
still
when.
Does.
Well, Bama's also they both have lost to a ranked team as well. But I don't think they look at that. I think they look at that as so when they say ranked teams, because if you're going to do that, then take away a lot of ranked teams at the end of the schedule for a lot of teams. It's when you play them.
I think you should count it. No, it shouldn't count when you play them because, fucking USC was like one of the top 10 teams, and now look at them. They're not even in the fucking top 25. So you're going to count that as a ranked win?
So Texas is
beating you going to count Colorado as a ranked win?
So Texas is beating
Colorado?
Texas
but that's how college is.
But does that count as a ranked win for you at the end of the season?
Well, yeah.
Yes.
Because when you played them.
It doesn't make sense. Like, you just got lucky you played. You just got lucky you played them early.
So Alabama has beaten who was their? So they beaten Tennessee. They beat
ranked
LSU, which is ranked.
Currently ranked 2.
Who was their other ranked team that they beat?
Ole Miss, right?
They did beat Ole Miss.
Yeah, currently ranked.
So they have 3
top
current,
10.
So they have 3 current ranks, and Texas has 2, but Texas beat Alabama. So the resumes but the resumes are similar. That's the problem. Is the resumes are similar.
Who's the other? Kansas State at number 25.
Kansas State and Kansas. Yes,
Kansas is ranked,
and we lost to a team that's currently ranked at number 17 in a neutral site. Alabama lost at home by 10 points. So to the team that's ahead of them, right? So that's what I'm saying. Their resumes are similar at the moment. I'm not saying it's going to be similar after conference championship weekend if they both make it. Their resumes are very neck and neck. So like the variables are now head to head. That's where the committee went with that. And that's why Kirk Herbstreit, who I trust more than a lot of people when it comes to college football, says if they both went out, it's probably going to go to the head to head situation unless 2 conferences fuck up. Like they would need like another conference to fuck up for both of them to get in. They're both not going to get in if there's a bunch of undefeateds and they're the only 1 losses, obviously.
I just don't see it. I don't see Alabama being undefeated. I mean, a 1-loss SEC championship getting left out behind Texas. I just don't see it. If they go in and
I think you're the SEC fanboy out of this, the 3 of us, and the 4 of us. I really do.
I just don't believe it. I don't believe if they go and beat the number 2 team currently in the SEC championship that Texas gets left. I mean, Alabama gets left out. When you're going to go play a 20 fucking team is like ranked 20th maybe.
So then why do you play? So what's the point of playing out of conference games? Might as well just do all 12 of your games scheduled conferences.
That's what they want to do anyways.
Because
most of the out of conference games are fucking powder puff games.
If you're both 12-1 and you beat a team by 10 points and you're going into the week higher, there's no way you jump them unless you beat them. Yeah. You beat Georgia by 50 points. They
jump people all the time.
They didn't do it last week when they beat LSU.
Yeah, they didn't want to switch anything. The committee's being conservative right now. That's why I didn't change shit.
I don't know. I'm a big fan of Kirk Herbstreit. Like I said, I think he's one of the highest IQs, and Reese Davis as well in college football. I trust them. Kirk Herbstreit, majority of the time, knows what he's saying. He's been right majority of the time. And I'm not saying to be a fan of Texas. I just think what he says is true. Like a lot of times, he's right. And the head-to-head is important. You shouldn't have lost at home with Jalen Milroe as your quarterback. It wasn't a backup. It was Jalen Milroe. That was the quarterback. At home, too. Not neutral site. It wasn't in fucking God knows where in the middle of a field playing each other. It was in Alabama.
The playoff committee just needs to stop being pussies and put James Madison up there.
Oh, the other teams that are undefeated too. Yeah, some other.
They took them off.
James Madison's not even ranked.
They're not even ranked.
AP's got him 21.
Yeah, they're not ranked in the college football. Tulane's higher than they are. In both, actually.
You stop being pussies.
Well, they're going to claim a natty champ. They're going to claim it if that metric system gives them a title. So
you have to have one person.
Only one team has to be undefeated for that.
You have to have one.
They need 5 other teams to lose a game for it to work.
Well, no, they claim it with them. That's how they used to do BCS. Yeah. It used to be claimed too. You had 2 championships. Oklahoma and LSU won the championship together, even though LSU won the title game because of the same system. No, actually, AP that year had Oklahoma number 1, even though LSU won the championship. So that was a weird year. But boys, I mean, this also has some implications too. Like I said, you have 2 versus 9 with Georgia and Ole Miss, and 3 versus 10 with Michigan and Penn State. Let's say Ole Miss does beat Georgia. How far does Ole Miss go up, do you think, and how far does Georgia drop down?
I mean,
because Georgia's strength of schedule is pretty weak right now. So, like, saying, hey, you finally played a good team in the top 10 and you lose, does that really hurt Georgia?
Ole Miss definitely has to go like the top of the one-loss teams if they beat Georgia, right?
How do you put them higher than Alabama if they lost to them?
I mean,
that's what I'm saying. It's like,
well, I mean, so you're just not going to move Ole Miss at all? And he's going to drop Georgia down?
You're gonna move up because Georgia's going to fall. Georgia should fall below everyone.
You put Georgia down to 6, the top one-loss team?
No, they go behind Ole Miss, who's behind Alabama.
How they go?
Because their strength of schedule is important. You just said strength of schedule is important. They're 90th in strength of schedule, and then they lose. That just proves they can't beat a good team at all.
So just Georgia falls and everybody moves up 1? Is that how you're going to do it?
Essentially, unless Ole Miss goes into Georgia and they manhandle them by like 28 points, then yeah, I'm making a case they should be higher. That's why Oregon is higher, because they're blowing teams out, and Texas and Alabama are where they're at because they both have won games similar. So that's why they're where they're at, unfortunately.
Yeah, I think Ole Miss moves the top of the one-loss teams if they beat Georgia at Georgia's house.
Then Georgia should go below a lot of the one-loss schools too. That's just the way I'm looking at it. The strength of schedule is weak. It's weak.
I mean, it's weak, but they're still number 2
because they're undefeated.
Florida State. So is Florida State. You don't think Florida State has a better strength of schedule?
No, because I just said I said that they used eye test for Georgia. They're using resume and eye test for Florida State. They're saying Georgia looks better than Florida State is what they're saying. But if you go into Athens and you lose to Ole Miss, and that says, hey, that's your first real test, and you lose, damn, your resume really is shit. Like, you're not really a good team.
Georgia just had a real test with Missouri. Mizzou's a good team this year.
So Mizzou is 12, and their strength of schedule is still 90. So that means the rest of their schedule is pretty bad. Like, it's not good. So it's like, what metric are you going to use? Because you're saying strength of schedule, but now you're saying strength of schedule doesn't matter if you're a one-loss team. Now you're saying eye test matters. So you're not consistent right now. Well, I'm saying, what are you saying?
Because they're doing the same thing.
So, but Luke, if Georgia loses, where should they go?
I mean, they're probably right here in the middle of these one-loss teams, behind Ole Miss, probably behind Alabama, maybe behind Texas. I don't know. Oregon's probably still in front of them.
So you're looking around 8 or 9. They drop about 6 or 7 spots.
Yeah, I mean, they're going to fall hard. They're going to have to. I mean,
and then guess what that means?
It's tough because I think Georgia should be lower already as they are. So,
and guess what that means, Luke?
Georgia should be at 4 or 5 right now.
If Georgia wins out after that loss, guess what Alabama win now means in the SEC championship? Doesn't mean as much shit now if Alabama beats number 9 Georgia and Texas beats number 12 Oklahoma State. Now that win doesn't matter as much because they're not ranked as high.
Same thing's going to happen with Texas when these other Big 12 teams lose too. And you're playing like some fucking unranked team in the Big 12 championship. That's not going to happen. All right. Why?
Because there's no way an unranked team is going to be in the Big 12 championship when you have Oklahoma and Oklahoma State. Oklahoma State's going to probably win out. Like, it's just you can take away your heart and you can take away your. I'm a UCF loyal guy. You can take that away.
Watch out.
Oklahoma State right now is 15.
I said it last time when they Oklahoma played them, and UCF went to their house and lost by 2.
Yeah, well, Oklahoma State's probably better than Oklahoma at this point. Obviously, they beat them.
Yeah.
Same thing with Penn State. If Penn State beats Michigan, how far up does Penn State go? Like these two games are going to matter a lot, Chris.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's still pretty early to. I know it's coming into week 12, but I mean, there's still a lot of football to play. I mean, we got big games like we mentioned, so I mean, there's a lot of ways that this could fall.
I just think right now this is the biggest week until rivalry week. I think the next week isn't as like I looked at the games; they're not as big going into week 12 of the season. Yeah, you do have Oregon State and the University of Washington, but that's probably where College Game Day is going to go, and that's the biggest game. But I think this is the week right here that this is where the committee is going to keep it set for until rivalry week, until going into conference championship weekend. So these two games, two top 10 matchups, very important for the rest of these one-loss schools too, especially Penn State, because what happens if Ohio State loses to Michigan and they beat Michigan? Now what happens in the Big Ten? Like there's chaos right there. So
it'll be interesting.
I don't know. Then what happens if these championship winners, like none of them are one-loss teams, and they have just 4 undefeated teams just go in?
Well, if it's 4 undefeated, then there's your 4 teams. Now it just matters.
So it's going to suck for everybody.
Well, that's why you win. That's why you're supposed to win. It's going to suck if there's 5 undefeated teams, honestly. Well, I guess
it's not
it can't
possible.
Be. Yeah, it can't be because Big 12 has got a loss.
I'm going to say throw James Madison up there.
Well, if it's up there. Well, it was actually because the committee did that. If it was a 12-man team, James Madison wouldn't be in. It'd be Tulane.
Unless like Ohio State decides they don't want to play Michigan, they forfeit that game or something. But I guess that counts as a loss.
Yeah, so like that's what we're talking about too. Is I think the only way to get 2 conference teams in there is you have to have 2 conferences fuck up, because like Kirk Herbstreit said, he can't remember the last time in the playoff committee era where all 5 conferences were alive at this point in the season.
Well, it's because the Pac-12 hasn't usually been this good,
and the Big 12's really had Oklahoma. I mean TCU last year, but usually been Oklahoma. So it's very 12-man. This should have been a 12-man year. Like this is the perfect year where 12 teams should be fucking. This should be the playoffs, honestly.
You got next year.
Yeah, but hopefully next year meets. Hopefully next year meets the excitement. This is the most excited I've been for college football. Not just because Texas has been good, but just because there's so much fucking balance, and everyone's so equal. It's just good to see.
Yeah, they'll probably the same way next year.
Yeah, I mean,
just.
Well, the realignment's going to be interesting too.
Yeah, bunch of teams moving around next season. It's interesting to see what the rest of the Pac-12 is going to do. What's the rest?
You said Texas, but I know what you're going to say. I mean, we already went into the second best SEC school in their home this year, and we
did it 1 week, but you got to do it 4, 5, 6 weeks in a row.
I just don't think the SEC this year is their fastball's not as there this year. You can say. I think there's 3 or 4 good teams, and like Tennessee's ranked. We're going to see them play Georgia next week. That's actually a big game too. So I mean, 2 good games. I guess.
I had my buddy. He just deployed, and he has tickets to that game. I see if he wants to sell them to me. My buddy just fucking
your tickets.
Is it in Tennessee?
Yeah, I know.
It's in Tennessee.
Yeah, it's at Tennessee.
Yeah, it's in.
How far is
Knoxville? My buddy's a huge Georgia Bulldogs fan. And he bought tickets like way before we even got here, and he's like, "Fuck, I gotta ask him if he sold them or not."
How far is Knoxville?
It's like a couple hours.
That's not bad.
Far. No, it'd be cool to go to see a game at Knoxville, like a huge stadium.
If they beat Missouri this week, that's definitely going to be. I mean, it's going to be hyped up already because they're still going to be ranked probably. But if they go into Georgia, right now they're sitting at number 13. If they beat Missouri, and depending on what the rest of them do, they might be at 13 at the worst case. That's going to be a hyped up game, especially if Georgia loses this week. If Georgia loses this week and then they beat Georgia next week, they're in the SEC East driver's seat.
They dropped Georgia down to fucking like 18. Georgia drops 2 in a row.
Georgia drops 2 in a row, they're not making it, even if somehow Tennessee fucks up and they win the SEC championship. Yeah. But
no, I said Georgia, if they drop 2 in a row, they'd be sitting at fucking like 18, 19.
Oh, yeah. But think about that. Think about so here's another situation, Chris. You're an SEC guy.
When's the last time Georgia was outside the top 10?
It's been a few years. But if, let's say Tennessee beats Missouri, Chris, right? And then Georgia loses this week and Tennessee beats Missouri. That adds a lot of fucking fuel to the fire of now the fucking other one-loss school is how important is Oregon and Texas if they both win out. And then Alabama probably doesn't get as much love there because Tennessee's not as ranked high as the other teams they're going to have to beat. So that'd be an interesting spot too. There's so much fucking chaos that can happen. Go Ole Miss.
Like I said,
go Rebels.
It's still early. I know it's late in the season, but there's still a lot of football to play, and a lot of shit could happen.
I'm all for chaos. I want to see. I'm an Ole Miss fan this week. Go Rebels, man. Go Rebels.
Big game for them. Lane Kiffin's been talking some shit already.
He always does. Yeah, he's always fired.
He talks shits to his own players.
You got to.
He had that leaked phone call today.
Oh, that shit was old. You talking about the one in his office?
It got leaked today, though.
No, that shit came out a long time ago. You talking about when he's the mental health thing?
Yeah. Well, it hit the news today. I mean, if it got leaked, it got covered up.
That was like last season that shit came out. I think they're just re-bringing it up. Yeah, that shit came out a long time.
There's a player that filed a lawsuit against Ole Miss about mental health, and then if Luke's saying that his got leaked last year, then it did. But
yeah, I think they just resent that shit out because I've heard that already. I heard it today, but I've heard it probably at least a year ago.
Oh right. Well, it says Kiffin Ole Miss asked to dismiss player's $40 million suit. That's what's on the ESPN's like top headlines. It's one of the top ones. So maybe like the lawsuit is coming out.
Maybe like the lawsuit's like done, but that tape came out a long time ago.
They're asking them to. They filed a motion to dismiss it. So maybe that's why you saw the video, Chris, come back out. Maybe that's why it's coming back out. But hey, speaking of a lawsuit and potential drama, the Big Ten has got some drama, boys. Michigan, we're all well aware of the Michigan scandal, but now they are accusing Rutgers, Purdue, and Ohio State. They're accusing Rutgers of giving Purdue the defensive signals, and they're accusing Ohio State giving the offensive signals to Purdue. Apparently, coaches do this all the time, but now Michigan's fucking coming after everyone in the Big Ten. So what the fuck is going on in the Big Ten, boys?
Yeah,
I mean, Michigan got caught, and now they're like, everyone else is doing it.
And they're just pulling out the receipts on everybody. And at this point, so if they're going to go down, they're going to fucking take down the whole fucking Big Ten. At least all the teams that matter.
But so is the question, what I'm confused about is Michigan being accused of it for this year too, or just the previous 2 years? Because that's the only thing I'm not. Well, I know it's the previous 2 years, but are they also including this year as well? That's the only thing I'm, I guess, being.
I don't know.
I mean, it's probably just wrapped in the assumption that if they've done it the past 2 years, then they're doing it this year as well.
Because that's when they started winning. His job was close to being done, and then all of a sudden they start winning, getting the Big Ten championships, beating Ohio State 2 years in a row. So something is a little fishy.
I mean, they fired their guy, so we'll see the rest of the year.
Took a few weeks. Took a few weeks to do that.
Yeah, maybe they had to go like, hey, fucking talk to him about it. Had to make sure he actually did it. And he's like, oh, this guy fucking did it. And they got him out.
So that's the question is like, I guess the rumors are like they're just going to do a fine for Harbaugh. Like, I guess right now it's with the Big Ten. So like the NCAA is not doing anything, and obviously the committee's not doing anything neither. So I guess.
Well, Michigan came out and said that they're gonna file a lawsuit against the Big Ten if the Big Ten directly punishes Harbaugh.
Well, yeah, because the question is, if you punish Harbaugh, are you also going to punish the team and take them out of the playoffs? Say that they're bowl ineligible for for a year, 2 years, whatever they want to say. So is it just Harbaugh, or is it like, are they trying to do the whole school? Like, that's the thing is it just Harbaugh that's getting suspended?
I mean, it sounds like Michigan's trying to cover his ass.
I don't think there's any way the Big Ten does that anyways. That's like one of the top 2 teams they have. Why are they going to take one out? And
well, the NCAA
coverage and money they're going to lose.
Well, the Big Ten's just trying to suspend Harbaugh. Big Ten can't punish the whole team with a bowl ineligibility. That's the NCAA's job. That's where they would come in.
I mean, the whole thing fucking confuses me regardless, because it's like you just send a guy in the field or in the stands to watch. I mean, to me, that's just fucking scouting. I mean, if you're dumb enough to...
Though.
Why?
Well, I mean, if you're dumb enough... But they can watch film?
Yeah,
getting game film and recording the sidelines is a different thing. Because when you're getting game film, you're not getting what the coaches are doing on the sideline. You're just getting the players' film. So you're not getting signals necessarily. That's the problem.
No, half the time when you're watching fucking TV, you see the 3 fucking Oompa Oompas back there calling their call signs to the fucking quarterback.
I see some weird ass ones, like some weird ass logos.
Exactly.
So that's them videoing the fucking sidelines.
I could sit at home and fucking video film the TV.
Yeah, but you're not seeing every single play like that. That's the problem. Like, yeah, you might catch them, but you're not catching every single play. And every single play.
Well, you still got to go out there and play football. So,
but it's also Michigan still has to send them out there. And
I don't want to hear that because the Rams had a problem. No, because the Super Bowl, the same thing is the Rams receivers said.
What if they even? Like, what's the chance that they even got the signals right? Or the teams aren't switching signals up week to week like they should be anyways.
Well, you should be doing that. Yeah, I agree with that. Or just fucking put a damn fucking a radio in the damn helmet. Stop being fucking old school and bunch of fucking lazy bastards that are cheap because a damn radio costs you money. You're a fucking multi-billion-dollar fucking college.
I they let college do that because not every team can afford it.
You can do it, though. There's a vote. They vote on it every single year, and they say no.
Because not everybody can afford it.
Then the NCAA can step up because they make billions of dollars off these fucking students. In every sport, they can
probably will change it now. That's probably the little ledge that just got pushed over. High schools do that shit. High schools have the fucking things in their helmets. At some of these big schools.
Oh yeah, the ones that can afford it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just think it might be a stupid rule, but it is a rule. So like, if you are purposely it's like the Spygate. It's like the Patriots. You can sit there and say that's not important. I mean, you're recording the practices and you're recording. Now that might be a little bit. That's probably a bigger one because of practice, but
different. That's different.
But if teams aren't switching their signals and they are being lazy, then Michigan does have an advantage. I get it. You have to go
on them.
Yeah, but shame on Michigan for also not having a technical game. Now I'm not saying every team doesn't do it, but they got caught.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, guess what? And when you get caught, there's a punishment. So if you take a chance of cheating.
They may not get punished.
Well, they might be, but I mean, so the question is the NCAA going to step in?
Harbaugh's going to be gone before they get punished.
Well, yeah, he's going to pull Pete Carroll. He'll be out.
Then what? They're going to punish the team. Fucking
oh yeah, no, you punish the team.
I mean, he already got fucking suspended this year for the shit during COVID. So
ask Ohio State. Ask Ohio State what happened when Jim Tressel got fucking ousted. They suspended him for a year, and guess what? Urban Meyer did his first year. He went fucking 12-0. I'm sorry, 13-0. He won the fucking Big Ten, and he couldn't go to any fucking championship. That was the BCS era. He couldn't even go to the BCS if he had a shot because they had a year's suspension because of the former coach. It's happened. It's not just Harbaugh in Michigan, and this is not the first time he's gotten caught for doing some shady shit. He's also got the fucking recruiting situation where he got. Doesn't matter though. He's already.
Well, he didn't even buy the cheeseburger. He didn't buy it. All he did was tip the fucking server. He had the burgers are free. So he went on there, got a receipt for $0 and fucking added a tip to it, and that's what he got.
I do think though Harbaugh will leave if Harbaugh will leave if it comes down to it.
Sorry,
but
Harbaugh's a nice guy and actually tipped the waitress.
I do think though
shouldn't have been taking a recruit out to dinner anyways. Shouldn't have even been in the position to do it.
So was that part illegal though, or was that part against the rules?
No, I mean
not because the hamburgers were free. You
buying
can't spend
food was illegal.
You couldn't spend any money. You can't give any merch. You can't do anything.
Wasn't that COVID? Wasn't the COVID era different though, where you couldn't recruit? It was a pause anyways. Was that during the pause time, or was that?
Yeah, I think it was during COVID. It was during the COVID year also. So I think that was also part of it. Was that it had to be an official. It had to be official visit.
So if it wasn't official, then he already broke one rule, because I think they broke more than one. It was a lot of rules he broke. He had a lot of violations.
Somebody explained it better, but I don't remember.
That's what I'm saying. He shouldn't have even been in the position to tip the waitress with the recruit anyways.
He already put himself in a situation where he shouldn't have been there. So then he broke one violation. Now he's breaking another violation. So it's
it would have been like him taking a stripper to his hotel room. He shouldn't have been in that position, you know?
No, yeah, I agree.
Sorry I penetrated her, but
yeah.
Who did that? SMU did that, didn't they?
Would they?
SMU got a couple year bowl ban.
Yeah, I mean it happens. If Harbaugh dips, he can dip all he wants to, but Michigan might have punishment with. I mean, they can't escape it. They're in college football. They're going to be stuck with whatever punishment the NCAA decides to hand them if it's proven that they cheated.
I think they let them ride the season out though.
Him and Caleb Williams going to be in fucking Chicago.
I don't think they punish them this year. If they can go win a championship all they want to this year, but there might be.
Well, it's going to take too long to prove it to that far to punish them. Because then they prove it, then they appeal, then can't punish them when they're fucking appealing it. So it should be. No, I don't drag the process out.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be punished this year. But if they do end up winning the Natty, I mean, it's definitely going to be a dirty Natty. You know, everyone's going to look at it and be like,
"Y'all won this because y'all cheated," and ride off into the sunset and go to the NFL.
Yep,
like he's been trying to do the last couple of years.
I don't know, man. Michigan, the thing is,
Harbaugh only came back. He only came back to win the Natty. That's it.
Well, that's the thing.
He had a stacked roster.
So he cheated the last 2 years, right? Let's just say he did. Just say allegedly he cheated, and it's true. But he didn't show up in the playoff games. He got blown out against.
They didn't scout TCU.
No, TCU was a close game still. But who was the game before that? They lost to Georgia, right? They got blown out against Georgia the first year.
Yeah, they changed the call signs.
2 years. 2 years. They've been there. They've been there 2 years in a row. So last year was TCU. I think the previous year it was definitely Georgia because Bama beat Cincinnati. So yeah, they got blown out against Georgia. I guess Georgia's. I guess Kirby Smart changed those signals up quick, huh?
Or they didn't scout Georgia.
I think they could scout Georgia. Georgia still fucking runs circles around them that year.
Well, Georgia won the Natty, so
yeah, they won the Natty 2 years in a row.
Yeah. Could be 3.
Could be 3, and yeah, there's a lot of stuff. Every day there's a new fucking thing that pops up with this Michigan shit that's going on. So, like you said, Chris, could be a lot of dirt on this one. A lot of people are going to be complaining and bitching if Michigan wins it for sure. Even if they beat Ohio State. Is it in Ohio State this year? The Michigan game?
I think so. Hold up. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, I would love for it to be in fucking.
It's in Michigan.
Oh
man! Oh, it's in Michigan.
Yeah, at Michigan.
Damn, I was hoping it was gonna be. I was hoping it was gonna be Ohio State. I like to see the fans fucking go at it, man. That's
definitely be college game day right there. I mean, that was game day every year, isn't it?
Just about, yeah. Unless Florida State and Florida are both top teams, which hasn't been in a while. There's changes like that.
Now,
or if Alabama, Auburn's very back when Cam Newton and them were playing good, the Iron Bowl was had a lot. I mean, they had meaning, but when it came to things like that, it's a potential big game. But yeah, Oregon State could be it, but there's no way with Oregon or with Michigan and Ohio State so good this year. They're not going to do that.
No, it's just a market too for Ohio State and Michigan, especially they're both ranked within the top 10.
Yeah.
Still.
Well, when Michigan was bad before Harbaugh, it wasn't college game day every single year. Just things like that.
Because Florida and Florida State used to be good too.
Yeah.
At the same time.
But Yeah, boys, that's a lot of stuff going on, and let's move on. There's Heisman time. It's getting that time of the year. Chris's boy on ESPN right now.
They did him dirty. They dropped him
He's
out.
number 2. Well, he's number 2 in ESPN's ranking.
I saw one that dropped him out.
I do think if he beat Alabama,
I think Mark sent one that dropped him out.
Yeah, it was a different one, but ESPN's rankings have it. Top 5, Michael Penix Jr., Jaden Daniels, Marvin Harrison Jr., Jordan Travis, and Bo Nix. And I'm sorry, I love Marvin Harrison, but there's no way he should be higher than Neighbors from LSU neither. He leads the league in yards, and he's just one behind and touchdowns. So
it's just his name's carrying him.
It is. But same thing with Jaden Daniels. I think he'd be number 1 if he would have beat Alabama. I honestly do. And he had a good game, too. He was playing great before he got hurt.
Yeah, I think it's Penix right now and then just everybody else at this point. Like Penix is by far like the clear leader for the Heisman race.
If he keeps struggling, I can see Bo Nix and Jordan Travis jumping up still. I can.
What do you consider struggling? Because he just put up 50 points last week.
Well, yeah, but the previous 2 games he was having off. So that's what I'm saying. Like he needs to keep that USC style game up, and they have some tough games coming up.
Stanford 42 points.
Yeah, but his numbers weren't spectacular. It was more rushing that game.
Yeah, I mean, I think if Washington wins out, I mean, they have Utah, Oregon State coming up, and he puts up big numbers. I think Penix runs away with the Heisman.
Yeah, I agree with you too. I do. Wait, damn, they play Oregon. Oh, that's never mind. Yeah, they play Oregon State. They play Washington State.
Two teams to finish off the season.
Yeah, so I mean, if they have a big game, like it's strictly Penix Jr. playing. Like let's say they win and he struggles and it's a defensive battle, I could see Bo Nix and Travis jumping up for sure.
Yeah, Bo Nix has been balling out this year. I know the one loss kind of hurts, but his stats look good.
He outperformed Penix that game though. He really did. It's just questionable
defense
calling.
Pac-12 defense over here.
I mean, when you play in college football for 8 fucking years, you should be pretty good at college football.
5 years. If you're saying that, then Jane Daniels should sit the fuck down.
Yeah, Jane Daniels is the same boat. He's the same guy.
No, Jane Daniels is actually more years than fucking Bo Nix. He's year 6. Bo's in his 5. It's like a true.
Jane Daniels just hasn't started as much as Bo Nix.
Yeah, Bo Nix started from day one, and
yeah,
I mean, but like quarterbacks used to play 5 years back in the day, they used to sit freshman year and then they would play sophomore through your second senior season, I guess essentially is what it is. But yeah, you can't really criticize Bo Nix if you got Jane Daniels in one of your top spots. So
got an extra year on him.
Same thing with Randy Travis too. Jordan Travis, same spot. He's in year 6 right now, and he's in the top 5. So, but Penix too. Fucking Penix is a 6-year starter as well. What the fuck are we? Yeah. So you got Michael Penix Jr. number 1. And he's
okay.
I think they only stayed because of the NIL shit too.
COVID
last year. I thought a lot of them were going to go to the draft anyways last season.
Well, Penix didn't have a draft stock. Penix draft stock wasn't high though.
The whole Big 12, Pac-12 decided to come back and play.
Well, because Penix and Bo Nix's draft stock weren't high yet, because Bo Nix had to redeem him the SEC struggles, and then Penix only really started last year.
Bo Nix still had a good season last year. Besides, but he lost to Georgia week 1 or week 0.
He also lost to Utah twice as well, so there was more than just Georgia.
Oh, Cam Rising's that dude though.
Yeah, but that guy's gonna get a 7th year. But yeah, so like those guys' draft stock wasn't so.
Cam Rising's
those
back
guys.
Again.
So if Will Levis was a 2nd round QB, Bo Nix and Penix Jr. are probably going to be a 3rd round or 4th round QB. Probably. I mean,
so it'll be a lot of QBs this year.
Well, that's the next topic: QB draft stock. Fuck it, let's jump right into it. So has anyone surpassed Caleb Williams? Do you think Drake May has earned that spot to maybe go past him?
I think the character issues might come into play for a little bit. I don't think that anybody surpassed him yet, but I mean him hitting Max Duggins last year with the LOL when he's crying after losing, then he's over here fucking bawling his eyes out with his mom on the side, like bad look for you, and painting his fucking nails like fuck Utah or fuck whatever team he's playing.
Wait, did he really call out Duggan last year?
Yeah, he deleted it eventually, but it there's a video of Max Duggan's like after the loss to Georgia when he's crying. He retweeted it saying LOL.
I didn't see that one, no, yeah.
Yeah. But, I mean, his talent overall, I think he's the number one still. Just character issues, possibly.
Yeah, I do think Caleb is number one. I think just because the ability, like you said, Luke, his talent is definitely at a higher ceiling than Drake May and Penix Jr. and Bo Nix, who I think are the top four. If you're asking me, those are the top four. I don't think Shedeur Sanders, and people still have him high. He's not going to go, I don't think, this year. And I don't think Travis has got his...
Daddy Deion said no.
Yeah, Daddy Deion said no. Daddy Prime said no way. And I still think Quinn Ewers goes to the draft. I think Quinn Ewers comes because his stock is not. People might fall in love with like the way he's so creative with his arm, like movement, like the way he delivers a ball to people and his quick trigger. But I don't think he goes in because of the 2 injury seasons. His stock isn't high right now, and I think he comes back.
You think he goes to the draft?
I don't think he does. No.
He could follow Colt McCoy's career path.
Well, Colt McCoy was consistent. Well, Colt McCoy was consistent 5 years in college. So that's why he had still a second round grade when it was like he was second grade or second round quarterbacks who got hurt in the championship.
I have Quinn Ewers at 9 on here.
Yeah, like he's not highly ranked.
Might lose Manning if Ewers does come back though.
Whatever. Yeah, that's why you recruit. That's why you got a quarterback. That's what happened at Ohio State. That's what Ohio State did.
You guys are fucking sucking Manning's dick to try to get him to come to Texas, and
you know what Ohio State spent to get? You know what Ohio State spent to get Quinn Ewers? They spent a lot of money to get Quinn Ewers.
Probably not as much as you guys spent to get Manning.
Not as much because his name's Manning, but Quinn Ewers was the number one QB coming out of high school. Came early too, and skipped his senior season in high school. Went to the fucking Ohio State Buckeyes, sat a year, and then dipped. But you recruit. That's what you got to do as a fucking big college.
But that's the thing. It's fucking Ohio. Ohio doesn't care about fucking quarterbacks. They get a 5-star quarterback every year, so they don't care if one walks off.
Sarkisian's been recruiting really high lately too, so I'm not worried about because especially if Sark starts winning. And he goes to the SEC, like you guys say, the name brand is that conference name is going to help recruit too, especially in the state of Texas where quarterbacks are very highly touted. So I'm not worried. And Malik Murphy was a top recruit coming out of California in the state of California. So, I mean, obviously he doesn't look like it, but he also isn't playing that much. And I think Manning would – you can't play Manning right now.
I think Malik Murphy's that high of a recruit just because of his like he's got that like AR size build or Cam Newton size. Like with him, so he's got the potential to be like really good because he just hasn't like I would think like Malik Murphy would like run the ball a little more.
He should.
He's so big. Like, he's fucking massive.
I've seen him move around the pocket. He seems pretty like he's got long strides and he's pretty strong. So it's like, dude, man, fucking. I mean,
he's got a big arm, but he's not super accurate. Like he got lucky on some of those deep balls. So anyway, like last week, you guys were able to get up and down the field.
That's why I'm excited Quinn Ewers is back because I heard or not, I want my season with Quinn Ewers. I just trust him a lot more. But I think his stock, though, back to that conversation, it's not good right now. He's kind of got like a late second, maybe mid-third round grade at the moment. And that's not. Do
you think Malik Murphy will transfer too if Ewers comes back?
No, because I think Murphy can sit another year. No, he can sit another year and then start his last 3 seasons in Texas. Or
he's not,
2.
Do you think he'll actually want to do that, though? Especially after getting a little taste of playing?
It's just the point of
some smaller school and go start right away if you wanted to.
That's why you recruit. So you just got to find talent. That's what you got to do as a Sarkisian seems like he recruits pretty well with Texas. So I'm not worried about that at the moment. I'm worried about – I mean, I don't give a shit. If Manning's not that guy, I don't care. Like, you go with what you think is going to work.
Kind of the same thing that's happened with UCF. We got 4 quarterbacks that have all started for us, all starting right now. It's crazy.
You even have one that's formerly UCF Knight that's with Oklahoma. Yeah. So
yeah,
not a starting.
Okay.
Not a starting quarterback.
Gay Davis is one.
Yeah, you have a backup quarterback too that plays. You remember?
He has
played. Your excuse. So he's a backup quarterback, not a starting quarterback.
Hey, Chris, Texas had a backup QB in He came in the 2.5 games actually, and he won both his games and finished the Houston game off.
Yeah, very lucky. Very lucky.
But we won with our backup. And we played Kansas State, the same team you guys lost to, and didn't allow a 28-7 comeback.
Okay, well, you guys were the top fucking 5 recruiting class every year.
But our QB got hurt.
We're getting there. Give UCF some time. Youngest school in the Power 5, so we're working on it.
But another stock, like you said, you mentioned Dillon Gabriel. He's not going to probably be an NFL quarterback probably right away. I mean, if he's going to do it, it's going to be a nice little journey. He might be a career backup too.
It's tough for him, especially being like a lefty.
Well, also doesn't help when you have 2 shit games in a row too against Kansas and Oklahoma State. So, I mean, Jane Daniels too. Chris, his stock's pretty decent, I think, too. He could be a second-round QB, maybe third at the worst. He's playing pretty good football. I'd like to see him come back so we can see what he can do the rest of the season. But
yeah, he's just going to be he's going to be a guy that you have to draft and just sit on the bench for a little bit to learn the NFL. But I mean, he definitely made improvements.
Like for some of these like other guys, like he can be a good backup for like AR or something like that. Something like comes similar style.
Well, they might. Well, if Jane Daniels goes to the Colts, they might eventually call for Jane Daniels if the AR has a bad game or two.
Exactly.
I think he's way better than AR, but yeah.
I don't think the Colts are going to put AR in that situation, to be honest. I don't think they would do that because that'd be too much.
Seahawks be an interesting spot for him. If they don't go first round QB.
They could maybe get Daniels in the second round if they really want to. If they really want to take that chance, they trade up like they did for Levis, like Titans.
Maybe sit a year behind Geno or half a year behind Geno,
or do what Russ did and outperform in the fucking training camp and say this is his team now.
Yeah,
let Russ cook.
Interesting spot for him.
It's not a bad spot. You get him with Kenneth Walker and Pete Carroll, who
loaded offense.
Well, Lockett doesn't probably have much time left there, but yeah, they'll have DK and JSN. So
yeah, I mean, and they probably just draft another wide receiver first round if they wanted to.
Yeah,
or an offensive line because they probably need that.
Well, how many of these QBs do you think go first round? I mean, Caleb obviously, Drake May, but anyone else? Do you think Bo Nix or Michael Penix sneaks in, or Daniels?
I mean, it's probably honestly just. I mean, I'd have to look at the NFL teams and see who's desperate for a quarterback.
I think there's going to be quite a few teams looking at quarterbacks this year.
Falcons, one of them. Seahawks, one of them.
Falcons, once. I think the Saints should probably start looking at somebody. Maybe not start him right away, but maybe a project guy.
Not
first round,
that's also
a project guy.
That's also the thing, though, is like the Falcons need a quarterback, but like, are they going to spend a first round pick on him?
No.
Yeah, that's what we're a quarterback away and like a couple small pieces away from being a playoff contender. We need a quarterback.
But if y'all
need.
If y'all end up pushing down to the low 20 draft picks, are you going to fucking take Sanders first round?
Bo Nix
when Sanders
ain't going. Yeah, Sanders ain't going. Bo Nix though.
Sanders is a good quarterback.
Sanders isn't going, but
I think Sanders.
I know what you mean.
You put Sanders on a different team. Like that has an offensive line. He played pretty well. I mean, he plays well for having like one of the worst offensive lines.
Well, he's also the most sacked. So.
But teams that might go
the worst offensive line.
Teams that could go QB first round though.
Maybe he's padding stats too. Maybe.
Every QB does that. But teams that can go QB first round, I see Seattle, Chicago, Atlanta, and maybe Arizona. Arizona can get away from Kyler Murray, trade him away.
You don't think the Raiders go quarterback first round?
So I want to say Raiders and I wanted to say Giants, but Giants fucked themselves with Danny Dimes.
Late first rounder, 49ers.
Well, let's see what Brock does. Let's give Brock the rest of the year, see what he's doing.
Brock better come off here soon. I'll just fucking buy.
I mean, let's be honest, and you can say Jaguars too, because him and Trevor Lawrence have the same fucking stats.
They're not going to move on from Trevor Lawrence.
Trevor Lawrence has no excuse too because he's got talent around him as well. So can't use that excuse. And he's the first overall quarterback, so his expectations should be a lot higher too. That's what you said a couple weeks ago.
No, man. Trevor Lawrence is not living up to what we thought he was going to do.
Should the Jaguars move on?
No, Jaguars definitely don't move on.
But I mean, I don't think the 49ers do either.
You can move on from Brock Purdy a lot easier than you move on from Trevor Lawrence.
But you're also looking at draft capital. What did Jaguars spend on Trevor Lawrence compared to what the Niners spent on?
The Niners also
Brock
don't
Purdy.
care about fucking getting rid of the first round pick anyways.
The Niners are also trying to spend. The Niners are also trying to get a first round quarterback at the moment when they have cap that they got to start unloading on other players. Now you can use a cheaper cap with a first round quarterback than a highly veteran. But Purdy's going to be way cheaper than whatever guy they draft, too.
Well,
so if they surround him with talent, then... Well, I mean, he has proven he's been in the NFC Championship in the 1 year he was there. I mean...
Well, he'll play, a quarter of the season.
I could see the
hot, but he's got to finish the season off or he's going to lose his job.
Oh, yeah, I see that, too.
I could see the Jets maybe snagging, not first round, but maybe snagging one of these second, third round quarterbacks. I mean, you know that A-Rod's has what this year, maybe next year. Well, definitely next year.
Maybe the year after. Maybe. Just
maybe. But think about if you do get fucking one of these low end like Jordan Travis or fucking Spencer Rattler or somebody to A-Rod to teach him up.
Yeah.
Because you heard Saleh. Saleh said, yeah, I plead the fifth. He already said it today.
Yeah,
so.
the Jets don't need anything.
Yeah, I mean, available too.
The Jets don't need anything offensively except offensive line. They definitely don't need anything defensively.
No, the defense is killing it.
So, I mean, why not draft one of these young quarterbacks? Maybe not first rounder. Maybe second or third, round. You know?
They should probably talk to Aaron first, though.
Well, he was happy with mentoring Zach, but it seems like Jets don't want him. Saleh already said, pretty much I have
Jordan Love thing.
Well, don't spend a first rounder on him. I think you're happy if you don't spend if you spend a second or third rounder, you might be happy. But
that probably burned the bridges right there. Just drafting Jordan Love when he's like,
hey,
I mean, the receiver.
The Jordan Love thing was different because A-Rod still looked like A-Rod still looked like he had a long history with the Packers to play, and then you draft Jordan Love.
Yeah, I think that burned some bridges with him.
Just because he wanted help, not a guy to mentor and potentially replace me right there. But I would love to say the Giants too. I think the Giants, but they fucking handcuffed themselves with Danny Dimes. It's a massive contract.
You have to stick with Danny Dimes now.
You can see the Packers. You mentioned Jordan Love. They already said that these games are going to be important. Packers can move on quick and get a QB as well. So
yeah, because Steelers are going in this weekend and they're going to win.
Do the Bucs maybe want to build? Do the Bucs
want to probably draft somebody too?
So there's a lot of teams that are going to be quarterback. We might see 4 QBs. We might see the top 4 in the first round.
I don't see Tampa spending a first rounder though.
You could trade back though from the second round though, and things like that, or trade up early in the second round.
Get somebody late, maybe. I don't think Tampa usually moves around in the draft too often, though.
Well, I mean,
do anything crazy.
No, they typically don't. But when you're kind of like low key rebuilding or retooling, you might want to maybe move in the second round. Maybe JJ
McCarthy is going to be in here too, possibly.
Oh, forget about that guy. I keep forgetting about JJ. I'm not a fan of him, to be honest. I'm just not a fan of McCarthy.
You just haven't seen him play anybody good yet this season.
I just don't think he looks good. I don't know. I'm just not a fan of him. I just don't. I'm not impressed when I watch him play. I'm not impressed.
You're gonna have a JJ McCarthy jersey next season when he's a Falcon.
I won't buy it, but I'll be rooting for him if he's on a team. I'll be rooting for him, but I ain't buying whatever jersey he wears. Shit, we don't even know who the quarterback's gonna be after the bye week. Arthur Smith said that we will announce the long-term starter after the bye week, so we don't even know if Heineke's the right guy for the rest of the year.
Heineke's got to be the guy.
I would say too, but.
Ritter's had his chance and he sucks.
Has to be.
I told you from the beginning, Ritter sucked.
Well, Heineke's had chances too, and they moved on from him for Sam Howell in Washington. So both
Sam
had chances.
Howell's the next Tom Brady.
Sam Howell looks good though.
Yeah, number 2 in passing yards. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean he looks good. Shitty. He's on a shitty team, shitty fucking franchise, but
yeah,
they're never gonna win anything until they fucking fix some shit.
It's been a long time since they've won something. So
yeah, they fixed the ownership, but now they got to fix the rest of the team. And they just fucking went and sold their 2 stars on defense.
They ain't even the best team in Maryland. They haven't been the best team in Maryland for a long time when there was no other team in Maryland. That was the last time they were the best team in Maryland.
Well, you talking about before the Baltimore Colts too?
Yeah, well, after the Baltimore Colts, they weren't. The Baltimore Colts moved in pretty early. The Commanders' time they've had 3 Super Bowls in the 80s and 90s. So they're better than the Baltimore Colts, if you want to say historically. They have 3 championships. Colts only had 1 in Baltimore.
And then, Johnny Unitas, though.
No, but they had Sonny Jurgensen. They had Joe Theismann, Doug Williams. They had some QBs back in the 80s now. Don't disrespect it.
Ravens don't count any of the Indianapolis shit anyways. They don't count their Colts shit.
They don't.
Except Johnny U. We claim him still.
What's funny is...
For sure we have a Johnny U. We have a Johnny U statue outside the stadium.
What's funny is you guys don't even claim any of the Brown shit. Technically, you guys are the Cleveland Browns, organization. Yeah. So, when you guys won, that was technically the Cleveland Browns at one point. So, pretty great.
But the Browns came back as the Browns,
the
a new Browns team. Yeah.
Yeah, because you guys switched. It's not like you guys were the Baltimore Browns. You guys were the Baltimore Ravens. So, very funny, though. The Browns only 2 Super Bowls. You guys have 2. So, they're both just been the fucking Cleveland Browns. But great show, boys. Great show. Loved getting college football in. Loved talking some football with you guys. Can't wait to see how this week unfolds. We have some big games. TVs will be glued on these 2 top 10 schools. And Missouri and Tennessee, too. It's a big game as well.
Yeah, as long as anything's better than the fucking Chicago Bears and Carolina Panthers.
That was definitely painful to watch.
That's better than the Texans Panthers still by 1 point.
Barely.
Well, offensively wasn't better, but score was better, yeah. Shout out to you, Doc, man. Bears won. You guys still have the Panthers at 1 win, so just have a shot for that first pick.
Can't wait to hear Doc talking shit all weekend now. Bears won again.
Yeah,
he's coming after. Yeah, he's coming after our teams.
No, he's coming after your team.
About Lamar.
Oh, I can't wait to see Lamar's trash. I can't wait to see.
You better.
Doc is very quiet with my team. He shows me some love. It's the Saints and Ravens. I don't know what you guys do to them, but you guys piss him off.
I haven't talked shit about the Bears. I only did 1 week.
He typically.
I think he just.
I got fired up 1 week.
Got mad.
That was it.
I think he got mad about my little comment about it ending in 0-0.
Oh yeah. I was like, he's like, oh yeah, 24. That must be a career high for the season. I was like, they dropped 30 points a couple times.
Oh. The only thing is you sent it right after they scored a touchdown, though.
Well, yeah, they were.
I sent it, and then they got the special teams touchdown.
Yeah.
But then there was a flag, and I got happy, and then they were like, "There's no flag." And I was like,
no
"Fuck!"
I had a text in there just waiting to say it said almost was 7-0, but then I had to delete it because the flag got picked up, whoever it was. But no, shout out to Doc's team, the Bears, and shout out to Florida State. They have a big rivalry game against Miami, so we'll see what they do against the old Hurricanes. Go Hurricanes! Throw up the U, baby. Throw up the U this week. Go Canes. Chaos, what I need, but hey. I want Miami to win, though. But, hey.
I hate Miami.
Great show, boys. Can't wait to get back here Monday. Watch some good football. Chris, good luck to the Saints. Good luck to LSU. Luke, good luck to the Ravens.
Pittsburgh Steelers.
Yep.
Knights.
Hey, Bengals, too. No T. Higgins. But this is All About the Balls podcast, and we are out. Thank you for checking out another episode of All About the Balls podcast. We want to thank all of our listeners and supporters of the Sack House. You can listen to the show on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and YouTube. And don't forget to subscribe and give us a follow on Twitter and Instagram @the Sack House.